Let's do it live. Let's do it live. We'll do it live. So we'll start with a question from my man Drewski. Does it matter when you take distributions from retirement accounts? Some do it quarterly. Is there any advantage to taking it earlier or later than March 31st? I just say do when you need it, man. I just tell people to do it. If you know you're going to need $50,000 from your account, just do it ASAP and be done with it. I guess you could say there's why go through the rigmarole of trying to time it? Just take the money out and be done with it. Park in a savings account for sure. That's what I would do. I mean, people can do it differently. I'm a simple man. I'm a simple kind of man. And I got something and understand. And Charlie Daniels has a simple man. We're nothing but a simple man. They called me a redneck. I reckon that I am. But things about going on that make me bad now too. The Hulk Hogan was freaking classic. That was fantastic. There you go. Can y'all hear me okay? Chuck B in the house. Seems like there's a little bit of a delay. Pulverized says Lisa was president after Trump and was left in a debt crisis with much owed to China. Seeing past things predicted there in the past, any thoughts on that one coming to fruition? You can hear me? Okay, gotcha. All right, right on. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Jill says she said Drewski. Jill says she says why is it friggin' doing that? It's like not showing up. Jill says she sets her up monthly, helps automate my finances. I get that. But we don't owe that much debt to China. That's the funny thing. I mean, we owe less than $1 trillion of debt to China. So this whole thing that China controls all of our debt is just freaking stupid. It's just simply not true. Not even close to it. So I don't. It's just easy to say China. People, Pulverize, you know this. People fall for anything. And Aaron Tippin, if you can't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. You got to be your own man, not a puppet on the string. Don't compromise your rights and uphold your family name. If you can't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Anyway, so I just think that's. I really want to put Hillary Clinton in Biden's place. She's not going anywhere. Man, look at my man Kegger. Kegger's already starting off the drinking. Kegger says, I got 65 kegs lined up because I just retired at 58. Right on, man. Hey, look at Drewski. I'm the man never thought I'd be watching on Saturday night. Saturday night then special. Over under Biden drops out. That's a good one, Enrique. Penelope and Denise. That's just. I hope he stays in, man. I mean, I hope he stays in. I don't want Biden to drop out. I think Biden's an easier out than any of the other fools. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Kamala, she sucks. But Biden drops out, then Kamala's going to have to drop out. So I hope he stays in. And I frankly, I just can't see it, man. I mean, at some day, Jill, who's the demon behind it. I mean, look, Biden's a scumbag. We all know this. Heals up Harris. She just gets on the bed and lets Willie Brown do whatever Willie Brown's got to do to promote her. It's Jill Biden that's the scumbag here for sure. Jill Biden, and the thing is, Jill's like, what is she gonna do with herself? She's like, oh, no one cares about Jill Biden, and she sucks. You know what I'm saying? So I could easily see Biden dropping out just simply because at some point your enemies in the Democratic Party are gonna say, look, dude, we can't have it. Now the funny thing is, if they make him drop out, he would have to resign from presidency. Simply because you can't be an idiot like he is and say I've got COVID or something like that, so I can't perform the functions for the next 4 years, but I'm still going to stay as a president for the next 6 months. That doesn't make sense. So if he were to drop out, it seems to me he'd have to inherently have to withdraw from the presidency as well. But I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? Give me a 1 if you think he's going to drop out, a 2 if he doesn't. It just seems to me the same thing happened with Nixon. But see, the Republican Party just sucks so bad. They never get, consolidated around their they never do. So what's the guy's name from Tennessee? I'm drawing a blank. The senator from Tennessee. I want to say Howard something. Howard, what the hell's that guy's name? The senator from Tennessee who went to Nixon's office. He says, Tricky Dick, you got to resign. Howard, what the hell's that guy's name from Tennessee? I can't remember, but anyway, I'm not sure. At some point, they all consolidated around the fact that if you guys can't hear me, man, let me know. Mark Kelly is not a stand-up guy, Penelope. That guy sucks. Can't stand that guy. What a clown. What a clown. Yeah, I can't stand Mark. Not you, Penelope. Mark Kelly sucks too. So you guys two, you think he wait? So I said one if he stays, two if he gets out. I can't hear. All right, Howard Baker. That's what it was. Howard Baker, right on Chuck B. Yeah, Howard Baker. That's what it was. So Howard Baker and these other clowns went to Nixon. Even though Nick, I mean, the whole Watergate thing was such a freaking scam. It was no big deal, and they're all like, ah. But if Trump and Biden both got died, what would happen from that point on? Well, I think they'd have to be Kamala. Heels up Harris would take over. You know what I'm saying? I said one, he's going to jump out. He'll stay in, and I can't. Sorry, guys. Now I forgot what I said. Sorry. I can't remember what I said. One or two. They'll have Biden retire early so they can virtue signal and say they're the party that put a woman of color as the president of the United States. Yeah, but no one, I don't know. The people still, I mean, I get the media falls for that stuff. I don't know. I mean, this heals up Harris. I mean, heals up. Yeah, she got elected by, getting with Jiggy with Willie Brown. All right, so I said one dropout, two staying. All right, so tell me what you guys think. Is Biden, I'm going to have to go over here because it seems like my audio is not great. So we got one for Sniffy Joe to drop out, two to stay in. I mean, I don't think he wants to drop out, but I just think at some point the media is going to be like, dude, Sniffy, you got to go, man, because we got too many, the media, but, the political people are just going to say, you got to go, like Howard Baker. All right, so two stay in. So Frenchie says stay in. Enrique says drop out. Yeah, look, are you guys? But Kanaka. I don't get what's Kanaka. I don't get what that means. Big Mike. I don't think Big Mike's gonna get. Maybe I don't think she's gonna get in, man. I don't think Big Mike's or he is gonna get in. I just. I mean, look, she's on Martha, or they are on Martha's Vineyard, freaking loving life. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, he'll be forced out. He's listening to Jill and Hunter. Yeah, exactly. And Jill and Hunter, I can't. This whole thing's so stupid. But I want to share with you guys something here. Hey, Tom. Tom's in the house. Oh, Tom, guess what happened today? 55 years ago. Oh, my goodness. Neil and Buzz with Michael and assistants were supposedly on the moon today, 55 years ago. Neil and Buzz were on there, Tom, with Michael Collins hanging out, protecting the flag. How dare you, Penelope? How dare you change your mind? Yeah. Oh, man. Biden's. Good. I'm here, Mark. We talk about that. One second. I want to. Oh, I'm sure he is. The champions democracy don't want us to vote for our candidate. That's what cracks me up. Yeah, that Hulk Hogan thing was pretty sweet. Did you hear the media, like the New York Times, like, what's the deal with ripping off your shirt or something like that? I said, dude, could you guys be any more out of step? I mean, that was fantastic. My wife was telling me, did you all know that Clint Eastwood is a scumbag? Did you all know he's got like, I don't know. My wife was telling me today, it's like, dude, can any of these guys just keep it in your friggin' pants, dude? What the hell, man? Just keep it in your pants. I was like, because we're talking about Hulk Hogan, and she was telling me about Clint Eastwood having all these children and all these, jeez. I'm like, just, what are you saying? Yeah, I see. I think that's right, Joe. I think they're waiting too long. I mean, 100%. Hogan, yeah, but it's all entertainment. Pulverize, you know this. It's entertainment. It was great. It was quality entertainment, man. That's what it was. Quality entertainment. Nobody else can use Sniffy Joe's donations. I bet he probably could, Marie. I bet he could give them to other political candidates for sure. That's what John Edwards did. Remember John Edwards when he some lady gave him, I don't know, like $5 million or something like that, and they went to the court, said you can't. That's a campaign violation. The court said no, it wasn't. It was a gift. It was a gift or something like that. Remember John Edwards? Carrie Edwards, the cheerleaders, Carrie Edwards, and some lady in North Carolina gave him big bucks, and John Edwards, they said it's a campaign donation. You can't do that, and he said no, it's a gift. Crazy. Yeah, lying dog faced pony boy. Yeah, that's funny. Who the hell's Kamala? Oh, Kamala. That's who you're talking about. I think he can give it to anybody. I think he can. I mean, I think he can give it to any other political. That's what these guys do. They keep up their war chest and they finance other candidates. You know what I'm saying? So the big wigs will have this huge war chest of donations, and they'll use it to finance other candidates as long as the other candidates get in line. The only person that can use his money is Kamala. I don't know that'd be true, man. I mean, maybe I don't know how the PACs work, but I mean, these candidates have these huge war chests. They donate, they give it to other candidates. He doesn't have COVID. It's just his. I mean, he might. I don't know. I mean, how many boosters can you possibly have before you get COVID? But I don't know idea. But I just like we're kind of thinking that's going to be his excuse ultimately to get out. But I don't think he wants to get out. I'm sure Hulk Hogan's not that tan. I'm sure he's not that tan. So I'm sure they just paint him. Clint Eastwood's 1-year-old wife died. Yeah, but apparently he had many other this flings. I'm so sick of cheating men. I'm so sick. And look, chicks cheat too. I get it. I'm a guy. It friggin' ticks me off, dude. Keep in your pants, show some commitment to your wife, and shut the hell up. It's like, what is I'm so sick of this crap. We're just like, oh. It's like, dude, what the hell? Only the VP can get the war chest. Yeah, I think that's right, Dan. I think the Dems every day that goes by is like, dude. I guess you guys are all saying that only VP can get the world chest. So world war chest. Jill, do you concur with that? She knows everything about politics. Do you concur with that? We got to talk about JD Vance. This is kind of creepy. All right, so I want to go into this right here. I don't know if you guys read Conservative Treehouse. You're not going to like this. This is bothersome. This is very bothersome about JD Vance. I don't like this at all. Anyway, so right here, I'm going to read you this from the Conservative Treehouse. Put a link down there. Right there. So there's the. I'm proud to be an Okie from Muskogee. Take that, Denise and Penelope. A place where even squares can have a ball. So check this out. Abandoned by his father to a troubled single mother, eventually raised by grandparents, he is then recruited from an Ivy League law school by shadowy figures, a specific billionaire and a network of interest. He changes his name, writes a book about his life, and with the support of the aforementioned, who eventually pays for the assembly of a strategic campaign influence network, becomes a senator for 2 years before being quickly elevated into a position for the White House. Many people are reading that paragraph would be familiar with the story of Barack Obama. However, that paragraph also explains JD Vance. JD Vance. It's a mirror. On the side of the uniparty mirror, we have an emotionally constructed political figure for the left. On the other side, we have an emotionally constructed political figure for the right. Each person, each emotional narrative carrying the specific nuances to appeal to their wing of the uniparty audience. It started with a conversation several weeks ago. Who is JD Vance and where did he come from? He pays for his own fudge rounds. How does a person without any baseline in politics, not a council member, not a mayor, not a state, nothing, become a U.S. senator and quickly get in the White House? What I was told sounded eerily familiar. JD Vance was born James Donald Bowman in Milton, Ohio in 1984. He then changed his name to James David Bowman. So it was James Donald, then James David. Kind of weird. He then changed his name to James David Hamill. Eventually, in 2014, after law school at Yale and after marrying his wife, Usha, he changed his name to write a book. It was in 2014 when this J.D. Vance was born. Vance's book, Hillbilly Elegy, was published by Rupert Murdoch, his publishing house. The book was made to a Netflix movie. created by Image Entertainment and directed by Ron Howard. Freaking what's his name? Guy from Happy Days, and then Earl Campbell, Opie Anthony. However, the interesting background on JD goes back to Yale and the Obama-esque tap on the shoulder that comes from a billionaire that most are familiar with, Peter Thiel. Thiel first recruited Vance into his circle while Vance was still a student in law school. Shortly thereafter, Vance joined Thiel's investment firm, where he worked for 2 years before joining Revolution Ventures. Vance played a major role in Revolution's rise to the rest, seed fund whose major investors includes Bezos. JD Vance then launched his own capital firm using startup money from both Peter Thiel and Google CEO Eric Schmidt. From this timeline, we can see how JD Vance went from no money in 2013 to big money in 2020. Everything came via Peter Thiel and Eric Schmidt. To understand JD Vance as an Ohio senator, the inflection points to 2013 and the subsequent relationship with Peter Thiel. Billionaires Eric Schmidt and Peter Thiel are key members of the steering committee of the controversial, closed-door, and overly globalistic Bilderberg Conference. Newsweek once called Schmidt and Thiel the most influential members at Bilderberg. Peter Thiel's company, Palantir Tech, is the driving force of a global surveillance system using AI. Palantir has massive contract interests with the U.S. military and intelligence community. Keep in mind, Palantir is a current company creating the tech mechanisms for the U.S. government to conduct foreign and domestic spying. The actual technology needed by the deep state to advance their interests is provided by Peter Thiel. According to the popular narrative, JD Vance opposes the intelligence community, while simultaneously being a political front for the interests of Peter Thiel and Palantir. This doesn't reconcile. Peter Thiel was the money in the network behind the 2022 Ohio Senate race between JD Vance and Tim Ryan. It's Peter Thiel who took JD Vance to beat Trump at Mar-a-Lago. Without Thiel, there is no Senator JD Vance. It's also important to remember that prior to 2018, prior to Peter Thiel becoming aligned with the FBI as a confidential human source, and prior to Vance needing the Trump endorsement, JD Vance was a never Trumper. He called President Trump a literal Hitler. Now he's appreciating his incredible leadership, blah, blah, blah. Within the Thiel network, you'll note the aligned interests of another key financial friend and big federal contractor, Elon Musk. Together, Musk and Thiel form the core of a very wealthy group of modern tech political influence agents, including another Yale Law School grad, Vivek Ramaswamy. JD even named one of his children after Vivek. What you have read so far is a background of a one billionaire, Thiel, deeply enmeshed in the surveillance state, creates a process to construct a political tool useful to the retention of his interest. A few dozen millions are worthy investment if the investment creates and supports the objectives of Palantir technology. Unfortunately, this approach also diminishes the Trump policy objective intending to eliminate the intelligence community deep state. As an outcome of a controlled network in 2006, Barack Obama was successfully installed. As an outcome of a controlled network in 2022, JD Vance was successfully installed. Both Barry Soetoro, Obama, and James Bowman, Vance, are mirror images of each other. We have exhaustively outlined the uniparty operation in Washington, D.C. What was once a radical concept and controversial is now accepted as factual. Additionally, we have outlined how the fourth branch of government was created under Obama. What was once a conspiracy is now accepted as the truth. Once you understand how both wings of the uniparty operate, you can see how the system of silo creation, retention, and protection works. The Obama network ultimately led to the modern intelligence community state. The Vance network appears to be positioned to retain it. Like an abuser towards the abused, our ideological enemy uses our virtues of love and trust as weapons. We are in an abusive relationship with our government. But all is not lost. If everything that happens, the geopolitical power players, including the intelligence community, have strategic interest. All right. Some of the power structures are, putting it mildly, not good. In fact, they are eroding liberty, freedom, and making us serfs. In order to best weaken them or make them more vulnerable, you put them in a position where they cannot strategize the future because they cannot form a data point in the pathway. Having a known 2028 U.S. presidential nominee gives them the ability to plan for it. They're able to make moves to get beyond 2024 to 2028 challenges they face. From that position, they conduct enemy operations against Trump's strategy. They essentially plan to outlast him, ignore him, put a mask on him when they talk to him. Trump, making it known who will be the 28 nominee, actually gives his opposition power, essentially makes Trump's position less strong. Had Trump selected a one-term running mate, like Cheney, for instance, the opposition would not know what to expect in 2028, and then they are forced to deal every day with what Trump is doing now. However, we know now the enemies are planning. And do you want them reacting to the unknown variables? No, because they know JD Vance will be the running guy in 2028. Do you want them on their heels each day as they try to figure out what you're doing, or do you want them to know the destination ahead? By selecting a VP nominee that will be the 2028 presidential nominee, Trump can give greater power to the ideological enemy. For the next 4 years, the deep state at home and geopolitical enemy abroad must not know what they'll face in the future. From that position of potential vulnerability, they are forced to focus on daily events. I never resigned Trump to a failed position, as long as there's a way to turn a necessary decision into a winning and more powerful one. The problem of Peter Thiel's network and a potential problem JD Vance represents can be dealt with. For Trump supporters, the goal is to deconstruct the worst and most toxic elements of the deep state. We must support the tenuous 2028 endorsement message. After all, we are expecting Vance to uphold actionable policies against the interests of his benefactors. These benefactors, Charlie Kirk, Tucker Carlson, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Bill Ackman, David Sachs, blah, blah, blah. I don't care anything happened prior to that 2013 inflection point, the tap on the shoulder at Yale. JD Vance's background construct as lived, or as sold is irrelevant to me. We do not have the time to be emotionally attached to an individual. We're not going to be battered conservatives pushed once again to the position of Charlie Brown's Lucy to the deep state. Anyway, so very interesting. If that doesn't freaking get you fired up, dude, I don't know what will. Now, I don't know what that means. I mean, does that mean that JD Vance is the Obama-ite? Or maybe JD Vance is smarter than these guys and he's able to say, no, we're going to take your money, Peter Thiel and Elon Musk? I don't think so. I think all these guys are playing. I think Trump is the only one who's not, in fact, even that, I don't know. But I think Trump's the only one who wasn't. Yeah, Tulsi had tons of problems too. I completely agree. Yeah, but again, I would have preferred Tulsi too, frankly. I would prefer Tulsi. Dude, I just find that insane. Yeah, 100%. So we'll see. JD and Vivek, but remember, I wanted Flynn too, man. Flynn would have freaking crushed. But we'll see. So now you know. That doesn't mean we hate on JD Vance. We don't. But it does mean we keep our eye on this guy, and hopefully Trump is keeping his eye on him too to make sure. You know, sometimes you want your enemies, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So maybe this is what Trump's way of. Trump's an old man. I mean, let's be perfectly honest here. But maybe this is Trump's way of keeping his enemies closer, seeing Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, all these guys. You know what I'm saying? And say, no. I got my eye on you, JD Vance. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on there. I don't really care to know. But now you know. I was stunned when I read that thing initially. I thought I was talking about Barack Obama, and they was talking about JD Vance. Like, damn, that's great. I don't care. He's married to an Indian lady. That bothered me in the least. People are, I don't personally color all that crap. I could care less. But what I'm just saying here is very interesting that JD and Vivek, Yale Law School graduates, you know what I'm saying, partners in crime. JD had no money, and Vivek's a Brahmin too. And these Brahmin Indians, they got it going on for sure. And I don't love me some Indians, dude. Indians are the highest in terms of income. The median income, Indian Americans or Indians, whatever, are the highest income earners in the United States. I think almost like twice that of whites, by the way. It's crazy. That's all good, man. All good. So I got no qualm with that. So people I don't care. It's very interesting, though, that JD Vance kind of went through the same process of Barack Obama. And if that doesn't make you somewhat suspect, I wonder why. I say, why? That's odd to me. That's odd. That is odd. You have to admit that's odd. It's like, Peter Thiel, because all these, us people in the conspiracy theory mindsets, we always say there's a tap on the shoulder. Like, for instance, why was Snoop Dogg? I was thinking about this the other day. So I was talking to some of my friends from high school. I hadn't seen in 35 years. And one guy, God love him, but he just smokes a lot of dope. And it's hard to have a conversation with people who are stoned. It just is. And I don't like it, Frank. I'm just like, ugh. and there are a couple other guys. I don't want to get into it, but it's just like in the old days, used to be drinking beers. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying drinking beers is better or worse than smoking dope, but what happened is, in my opinion, is they promoted a guy like Snoop Doggy Dogg, who was going to high school with Cameron Diaz, by the way. All right, Cameron Diaz was not a poor person, so Snoop Doggy Dogg inherently was not a poor person. Tupac, by the way, did you see his routine trying to dance to get some, I don't know, some dance routine? The guy was gay as the day is long. You know what I'm saying? Candace Owens was talking about this on Twitter the other day, like Eminem, how they all these hardcore rappers are basically homosexuals, but they get promoted to try to be tough guys. And when you see the Tupac thing, when he was trying to be auditioning for a dance, you're like, dude, that guy's gay. And then Eminem, all these guys. Anyway, so the interesting thing was they tapped on some of these guys like Snoop Dogg, whatever the hell that guy's. I don't even care. They said, we want you to be a superstar. And the guy said, you got it. Joe Rogan, the same thing. We want you to be a superstar, promoting psychedelics, promoting marijuana, promoting all this stuff, because we know that when a population gets in, smokes dope, they lose their minds. They just become very docile. We know that for a fact. There's no way Snoop Dogg over any of these other guys. I mean, just there's no way that guy did not get chosen by whoever is the people in charge. Rick Rubin, I don't know. As such, these guys get tapped like, hey, we want you to be, but this is what you got to do. They say, we'll do it, dude. We'll do it. You know what I'm saying? And they're promoting dope. So now you get all these freaking stupid white kids smoking dope to their days. And they're like, I'm just smoking dope. It's natural. It's not natural. It's freaking bad. It's bad for you. There's many things that are bad. They're natural that are bad for you. You know what I'm saying? Many things. Arsenic is natural. It's bad for you. We could, what they put in the, what's the fluoride that goes in your water? What's that made of, like aluminum or something like that? I think it's aluminum. None of that stuff's good. In fact, if you look at your thing of toothpaste, it'll say very clearly that if you swallow the toothpaste because there's fluoride in it, you should call the CDC. They don't say that because it's safe. They just don't. Anyway, so what happens, in my opinion, is that these guys get chosen. They say, hey, we want you to do this. We want you to advance this cause for us. I'm not sure they're saying we want you to advance the cause. I think we want you to promote gangster rap. We want you to promote, and like D. Snyder, all these guys. Actually, he didn't do drugs, so I give him credit. But at least the Motley Crue guys, all that stuff where they're doing the freaking glam rock crap, to get you used to seeing men dressed as women. It's like, dude, this doesn't happen in a freaking jar. This happens deliberately for sure, because these guys play the long term. Anyway, so we have this guy, Barack Obama, just out of nowhere. He's chosen. It was without question. It's not like Barack Obama's a smart guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he can read a teleprompter, and that's fine. But, anybody can read a teleprompter. But, I mean, he did what he needed to do, the first black president, even though he wasn't an American black. And then we got Heels Up Harris, the first black vice president, even though she's not an American black. I mean, she's half Indian, half Jamaican. Anyway, it's just the whole thing's just so stupid, dude. So anyway, the point being is these guys get chosen to establish a mindset for the future. And this is what concerns me greatly about JD Vance. It's like, what's the prerogative there, JD? You can't serve two masters. Are you going to serve the American First Movement, the MAGA, or are you going to serve Vivek, Peter Thiel, and all these guys? I don't have the answer. We have to keep our eye on it. But to just put your head in the sand and say, no, that's not true. This would be wrong. You can't do that. You got to say, no. And when they abuse you again and again and again, at some point, you just got to freaking pop smoke and say, I'm out of here. That's what I'll vote this year, and I'll see what happens. If, because I do expect Trump to win. I'm not sure. I'm still on the fence on that. If Trump wins and they act the way I kind of am worried about they're going to act, which is a massive cryptocurrency, a massive electrification. That's what I want to talk about here in just a second, of everything. You know what I'm saying? The massive carbon tax, because even Elon Musk is now promoting a carbon tax. That's not MAGA, dude. That's bad news. And because it's on the Republican watch, that's another thing too, what concerns me greatly. A massive federal voter ID. I can see that a mile away, because the federal government, because the Republican Party will say, yes, voting is wrong. We got to have a federal voter ID. I can see that a mile away. It would never happen under Sniffy Joe or Hillary, but it would happen on Republican. Why? Because the Republicans say the vote's wrong, it's corrupted, blah, blah, blah. But it will never happen unless Donald Trump promotes it or JD Vance. And then I could easily see it happen. And all these Republicans say, yeah, we need a federal registry for voting. That's not good, dude. That's not good. I could easily, just like with COVID, just like with the EPA, just like with affirmative action, just like with amnesty, just like the Department of Homeland Security, What happens is the Republicans lay it down in a very sense-worthy thing. You know, the EPA, and we want to, the was it the River of Love or what the hell it's called? We want to clean that up. I get it. And then next thing you know, the EPA is banning you from building a freaking a tiny little wooden bridge over your creek in your backyard. You know what I'm saying? Because the water use rights and all that stuff. This is insane. But the Republicans put affirmative action because most Republicans they want blacks to succeed. So it makes sense that we want blacks to succeed. We'll give them affirmative action. Now we got anti-whiteism, which is 100% is what happened. It's the celebrate diversity so freaking stupid. It's all anti-white. That's just a fact. So you can see this a mile away. The Republican Party amnesty. Reagan signed amnesty. Masoli Simpson amnesty, 1986 Amnesty Act. Oh, and guess what happens? We get more and more. And Bush was trying to do it too. He got shut down, thankfully, because what's his name? Dave Bratt beat. Forgot the guy's name in Virginia. I'm drawing a blank that guy's name, but Dave Bratt out of nowhere became the Kingslayer. He beat some guy. I forgot his name. Some Jewish guy. I forgot what that guy's name was. But Eric, it was Eric something or other. Eric, can't remember. But anyway, it just out of nowhere in the primary, and that kind of shut that down. The DHS, the TSA, all that stuff, the Republicans put into power, and with it, and that's so. My man Sundance, which the article I just read, talks about the intelligence community being done by Obama. No. It started under Bush. Bush allowed it for the Iraq War, for the freaking, we got to make sure these guys don't kill us over here and stuff like that. So we're going to monitor, do all this. Patriot. Like I was all for all this stuff. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you because I was an idiot. Bush put all that stuff in place. Barack Obama takes it with and runs with it. The same damn thing is what I worry about with Trump. Because he says, look, I got it in there. I made good on my promise to come back and get Sniffy Joe out of there. And a lot of Republicans will say, just like they did during COVID, they say, yeah, no, lockdowns are good. Lockdowns are good. Well, maybe it's not good, but, it helps us politically. And dude, it's just so freaking idiotic, man. So many Republicans just, it's crazy. Anyway, that's my concern. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. I'm not even sure I'm ready to admit that Trump's going to win. I don't know, man. I mean, the facts are the voting hasn't been solved. The only person who solved voting was in DeSantis in the freaking Florida. That's it. No one else has done crap relative to voting. Here in Georgia, they haven't done crap. Freaking idiots. You know what I'm saying? We control both the Senate and the House, the state representatives, and we control the governor and the secretary of state. And they haven't done crap, even though freaking Puffenbarger said he was going to do all this stuff. And then he just got reelected by a freaking 2-1 vote. I didn't vote for. I voted. I don't think I voted for the Democrat because she was nuts. I didn't vote for Puffy though. You know what I'm saying? Or Brad Puffensberger. But no one's done crap to fix the voter rules. The only person who's done crap is DeSantis in Florida. And Florida is now clean as a whistle, like Irish Spring. Clean as a whistle. Ohio hasn't done crap. They've done a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But Ohio's been trending pretty right wing for a long, long time now. But Wisconsin, Pennsylvania are all run by Democrats. I haven't done crap. Michigan, not done crap. In fact, didn't the Supreme Court just say you can now have drop, or some appellate court or something like that, you can have drop-in ballots or something like that? Anyway, I just think the whole thing's, it's just very odd to me because the deep state is deep for a reason. It's deep. And I'm telling you, man, they want cyber, cryptocurrencies. They want digital IDs on everything you do. They want a national registration. And guess what happens? Guess what happens with national registrations? Huh. What happened in Australia with that? Let me see if I'm going to take a question, you guys. What happened to, what happened? Oh, 100% Javier. Conservatives don't conserve anything. They're 10 years behind the Democrats. I just found it funny right now. Is like, I listen to some guy say, we don't, what did he say? We don't support transgender, something like that. And we don't support someone else in the Republican platform. I forgot what it was. I said 10 years from now, you will. 10 years from now, you will. Yeah, Javier, we already talked about that. Oh, 100%, dude. The COVID lockdowns, that was insane, Kirk. It was insane. It was insane how many people. Yeah. Anyway, so let me ask you guys, if you guys remember about a national registration, a country that had a national registration not that long ago. All right. And what happened with that national registration? So there's two countries that had a national registration. Oh, I'm back. I'm back. Am I back? Let's see. All right, cool. Fun. Look at fun guy. They got Josh. Right on. They got me, Broken Arrow. They got me. It was. I don't think people are worshiping. You guys, no, people aren't worshiping Trump. Come on, that's silly. No one's worshiping. I actually had this lady who I'm one of my friends from Peaks Island. His mom, for some reason, connected me on Facebook, and she posts all this anti-Trump stuff. And she's like, literally, she's nuts. And I said, I didn't say anything, so I'm just over it. But she literally thinks Republicans are worshiping Trump like he's God. I just, I said, no one. I mean, no one's worshiping Trump. You freaking idiots. No one, not you, Tom, but no one's worshiping Trump because I saw Tom said, "Don't worship Trump" or something like that. No one's worshiping Trump. Um, it's So let's go back to it. So in Australia, exactly. No, it's just we stop this. This whole idea that people are like Trump is. It's like, come on, no one's worshiping Trump. This isn't Social Security national registration. Yeah, it's government registration, 100%, absolutely, because it's a federal government program. 100%. So you're saying because Social Security is a federal government program, we should add one for voting? Exactly. Look at Broken Arrow. Yeah, exactly. And Jill even says no one's worshiping Trump. I mean, come on. That's just it's silly. And I'm not. I don't know who if anyone's saying that here, but it's just like it. I'm like, come on, people. We got a lot of things to you can gripe about Republicans, but the idea that they freaking worship Trump is still stupid. Um, yeah, well, definitely shouldn't worship Paul. Why the hell would you ever worship Paul? Well, a lot of Christians seem to think Paul words take precedence over Jesus. I'll tell you that right now. Kind of weird. A real. Yeah, I was asked. So, what's the deal with that real ID? It's still issued by the state, though, right? I mean, is that? It's not a federal. Yeah, I was noticing that when we went to Calgary, that the 2025 real ID thing. I was like, I was wondering about that. Is that? Anyway, the Aussies lost, and yep, they had a national registration on firearms, and the idiots fell for it. They had one in Canada too. It wasn't as bad as Australia's. And then Stephen Harper, even though he's a uniparty guy, he got rid of it. Yeah, because look, these guys still have to appeal to us. I mean, they still want to win. So the Peter Thiels of the world don't really care who wins. Elon Musk's, the Arabella advisors, they just want to be in control. They don't really care who wins. They're going to support. They're all a part of the uniparty. All these rich guys. Obviously Arabella advisors wants to come. I get that. And Peter Thiel wants Trump. I get that too. But at the end of the day, as long as they have an influence on the uniparty, that's what they want. It looks like my um, the real ID has to be federal. Yeah, but it's issued on your driver's license. I think they're gonna. I think that's getting cocky, man. I don't think so at all. Yeah, exactly. That's what exactly issued by states, 100%. Proof of citizens, but it's not a national registration where you got to, get a federal ID card to go vote. I mean, it's because it's still issued by your state. I froze again. Oh boy. Yeah, and again, I don't think JD Vance has that much power. Why would I'm not talking about showing an ID, Robin. I'm talking about a national ID. I don't want a national ID. I don't want a federal government issuing my national ID. I get they issue a social security card. I get that. And then, the real I okay. I mean, I get it. Yeah, we don't know. No one should be worshiping Paul. Well, Paul and Saul, the same guy there, William. You got to know that. No one should be worshipped. I mean, no one, because Paul leaves a lot to be desired. But anyway, real ID is used by TSA, but it's issued by the state. It's not a federal thing. And I get it. The social security number is bad. I mean, it was bad when it was issued, A lot of people on the right and a lot of people on the libertarian did not like it, but here it is. And I think we all know that, right? Everybody knows that Paul was Saul before he supposedly had this thing in going on the road to Damascus. Everybody knows that, right? All right, but your state, yeah, all right, I get what you're saying. Good point. Passport is a federal ID. That's a good point, Andrew. The passport is a federal ID. Yeah, man, good point. Yeah, well, then they should say everyone get a passport, and that's what you got to use to vote. See, I don't want the federal government to get involved in state votes, though, man. Yeah, just Jesus words, man. There's a good YouTube channel, Dark Horse, called Jesus Words Only. Jesus Words Only. Yeah, exactly, Mark. Many people don't get passports. 100%. That's good points, Jill. Social security number doesn't prove citizenship. Yeah, I don't want that. I mean, I don't want a federal ID. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't want it. Enough federalism. I mean, we want federalism. We don't want a federal government dictating election law and all that crap. We don't. It's crazy. Yeah, but yeah. Jesus Words Only, great YouTube channel. I've talked to that guy a couple times. No one's against having an ID to vote. I'm against having a federal government dictating how your state votes. So 100%. And the Republicans are going to fall for it hook, line, and sinker because they're going to see some counties like in Georgia and stuff like that. So, oh, the federal government's got to take over. I'm telling you, man, when the federal government takes over, it never ends up right. It always ends up bad. Ultimately, it might sound good for a little bit, but the federal government isn't our friends. That doesn't mean the federal government is like evil. They're just a bureaucracy, a deep state. But this is what I'm just trying to warn my fellow Republicans. I guarantee if Hillary was in office, whatever happened during COVID would not have happened. I guarantee, because Republicans would not have taken to that. Oh, I think I forgot to. It's raining out. I think I forgot to cover my grill. Oh boy. Anyway, so they would not have gone along. They wouldn't. I can't tell you how many people who have since fallen off during this last round of COVID were like freaking screaming bloody murder at me. Like, dude, we just gotta, just gotta. I was like, this is anti-freedom. Like Javier said, this is not conservatism. This isn't conserving conservatism. This is anti-freedom. All right. So let's Republicans love them some COVID. 100%, man. Federal agencies are easily wet. 100%. That's why the Republicans drives me crazy when they're like, they don't get it. I'm like, I don't understand how you'd want more federal government involvement in your day-to-day life. It's crazy. But his driver's license didn't reflect that name change. I'm not sure what you're talking about. All modern cars have federal requirements to track. Yeah, okay. I mean, that might well be, but that doesn't mean I want more. I mean, see, this is where well, Josh, we already have a passport. We already have a car required federal. Blah, 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 blah. I don't want more. I don't want more. All right. So anyway, I want to talk real quick about it's all falling apart, and this is what I think is happening. So we had that big shutdown thing from CrowdStrike, a big Democrat firm, by the way. Do you remember that CrowdStrike? And apparently some credit cards weren't able to use it, all this stuff. All that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So at the end so what happened was, people were like, oh, they couldn't fly around, whatever it was. Now, what I find amazing to me, oh, dude, 100%. 100%. What I find amazing to me is this push for electrification of everything. I mean, does people not see how fragile the grid is? And just with this CrowdStrike thing, with just software, you know what I'm saying? How fragile is the grid? Yeah, look at my man says that Microsoft thing doesn't make no sense to me. Yeah, I saw that, Andrew. Now you got to. I saw that. You can't just. I saw that. What I'm saying, you got to have a. Exactly. CrowdStrike was a test to screw. See, I think what they're doing is they're showing people that just with a drop of a hat, they can do whatever the hell they want. You see what I'm saying? just with a drop of the hat, they can say, hey, we're shutting things down. Now, I don't think they're going to. And the reason I don't think they're gonna is because simple, I actually think the people in charge, they know how many idiots we have in the United States. They know how many people, if they didn't have power or food or water for 3 days, would go insane. And as such, what I think they do, because I think this was deliberate, 100%. I think they put this stuff to happen. They say, hey, we want you guys to remember who's in charge, kind of thing. And that way you can focus on, how am I saying that? What am I trying to say? Not to remember who's in charge, but they want you to focus on how fragile things are to keep you scared. And if you're scared, you can be manipulated. And so I think they literally say at the end of the day, we want to show people that it's very fragile. And when things are fragile, they're fearful. And when people are fearful, they get to choose Biden's evil, Trump is evil, blah, blah, blah. You see what I'm saying? White guys are evil, black guys are evil. It absolutely puts us into a conflict as opposed to what's causing all this. And I just think that actually the electrification of everything is I actually think it's so absurd that people actually buy this. In fact, I was reading this guy on Twitter, who's a NASA guy, talk about he can't believe how so many people don't fall for the climate change. Like how can he's cussing all this? And he's a NASA scientist. We probably got to defund NASA first and foremost because we just waste $70 million a day on NASA, and we haven't been back to the moon in 55 years. Well, I guess we did go supposedly a couple times after that, but basically 55 years today since Neil and the Buzz hopped off the lunar module. Remember, they had to hit 25,000 miles an hour to get escape velocity to get out of Earth's gravity pull. 25,000 miles an hour. Anyway, the point being is, I think what they're saying here is like, look, dude, the grid is very fragile. Your communication is very fragile, and as such, you should be very nervous on how things are running. However, I don't think they'll ever let things fall like that. The reason I don't, because there'll be so many idiots running in the streets they don't know what to do. Because they've been so smoked, like going back to what I was saying before about everyone being used to porn and dope, all this stuff. If they took away your porn, if they took away not us here, but they took away our dope, all this, our freaking bread and circuses, people would go insane. I just don't think they'll let that happen. I don't believe we went to the moon. Not at all, Charles. I think it's all fake. 100%. Absolutely. Charles, you're not new here, man. You've been around. Who? Oh, JD, you're talking about Jill. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I think we're gonna be okay too. The reason why we're gonna be okay is because the people in charge know they need us to have some kind of order for us to be okay. You see what I'm saying? And they, oh, okay, all right. Oh my goodness, what happened to Artemis? I love you, brother, but man, you are a sucker for some NASA. That's a fact. Or maybe not even a sucker for NASA. Maybe a sucker for SpaceX. Oh, dude, we have tons of propaganda. We have more propaganda than anybody by far. NASA being one of the biggest sources of propaganda, as a matter of fact. Anyway, so they want us at loggerheads, and the way they do is they make us scared and panic. Trump's going to take away this, Biden's going to take away that, and as such, we're like, oh man, that's not good. Then they have a thing where they, have the communication go down. Some guy had a patch and he screwed it up somehow. He unplugged the system, and then there's going to be and then so you have that, and then they're going to try to electrify everything. So this is why I think Trump's going to win. Here's why I think Trump's going to win ultimately. They know they can't electrify everything. They know they can't. They don't have the capacity to generate the electricity like they need. They don't. So what they do is they throw a guy like Obama and then Biden in there to try to appeal to the idiots who think we can run our economy on solar panels and wind turbines. And it's just this idiotic. It's embarrassingly stupid to argue that anymore. It's not. And then they'll be like my man Liberty here. Where is he? Because Liberty's saying we're going to return to the moon by the end of 2020s. And the same people, not Liberty, but the green people say we're going to have massive battery storage. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Just any day now, any day we're going to have massive battery storage. That's what they're going to keep saying. Well, we don't have it, and we're not going to have it anytime soon, if at all. And as such, we don't have the generation capacity. I hate to say capacity, the generation ability to do what our electricity needs, especially if we add AI and massive electrification on electric vehicles and then heat pumps. It's not going to happen. So I think the reason that Trump's ultimately going to win, the power and whoever runs the show, is because they know that Trump will get in there and he will be a force for good on basically beating back the insanity of the Biden Green people. If that makes sense. It's not Biden. Biden doesn't care, but I'm talking about the Greens. So what happens is you got Obama and Biden. They go in there and they got their Just Stop Oil and all these idiots with Greta, whatever that name is, Greta Thunberg, all these idiots, and they say, "Oh man, we're gonna make it so it's all clean. It's all clean as a whistle, like Irish Spring shampoo or soap. It's clean as a whistle." And then all these people get fired up. They get hopped up. And they're like, "Oh my goodness!" And people like us who are smart, we say that it's impossible. And then what happens is when it's proven that Biden and Obama can't get it done because it's impossibility to get it done, then they turn the ball over to Trump and say, "All right, Trump, now you're going to be the bad guy now to show people that this can't get done. And we're going to go back to more nuclear and fossil fuels." You see how they do that? They play each other because I don't know if I have this chart. Let me see if I have it. I think I do. Check this out. Because there's your boy Buzz right there. There's that guy had more of a chance to go to the moon than we will by the end of 2020. That's Finnegan. He has more chance to go to the moon than we do by the end of 2020. 1 second. Hang tight, everybody. Hang tight. Oh, yeah, by the way, median household income right there. Freaking racist America. There's whites, 65,000. Look at all these people of color. Freaking race. America, you're so doggone racist. Then Biden Harris, they make this meme where they say, Trump confuses AI and electric vehicles. AI needs literally twice the electricity that's available. Biden, it's not even Biden. This is 20-year-old know nothings. It is AI, you freaking idiots, that needs the electricity. Anyway, just idiotic. We're dealing with idiots. And the real people in charge know that we cannot run a society that uses this massive amount of electricity without the generation. And the only way we're going to get the generation of nuclear and fossil fuel. It's just only, by the way, this is a pretty good one. I better be careful. Right there. People don't want to hear that. Oh, by the way, I just want to point out something. The World Health Organization, let me get my specs on. So here's what they call for herd immunity. This is from 2020 from the World Health Organization. What is herd immunity? It happens when a population is immune either through vaccination or immunity developed through previous infection. That's what the WHO said about herd immunity in 2020. What they say in the June 2020. What they say 5 months later? Herd immunity, also known as population immunity, is a concept used for vaccination. As a threshold of vaccination is reached. That's science. Herd immunity is achieved by protecting people from a virus, not by exposing them to it. But before they're saying you can reach herd immunity, literally 5 months before, you can reach herd immunity through previous infection. Good job. That's a pretty sweet shirt right there. 762. Yeah, that's pretty nice. All right, I just want to show you this one thing. By the way, it's me eating crabs. All right, it's me eating crabs right there. My friend from high school, he has this boat. We're crabbing, getting some crabs. We didn't get many, but he got a whole bunch today. And we got enough crabs where he could eat these crabs at his house in Northern Neck, Virginia. Yeah, dude, chowing on some crabs. Good times had by all. That's my man right there from high school and your old buddy Josh. This guy right here, he can literally do anything. It's crazy. It's crazy how his skill set. It's like, dude, is there anything you can't do? He says, I don't like to work on diesel engines because it's dirty and it smells bad, but he can do every. I was like, dude, it's crazy. This guy, I mean, it's like when we grew up, never thought of him to be like a super freaking, like he's like my man Andrew, who, like if Andrew's still on here, just fix anything. Dude literally fixes anything. I was like, how the hell? Like it's crazy. Anyway, so hold on, hang tight, amigos. All right. I want to show you this one thing on electricity demand. Look at that dog. It's my other friend in high school's dog. Oh, that dog's named Lucky. That's a house. My dad, we had this house in Alexandria, Virginia that was run down as all can be. My dad fixed it up, sold it many, many years ago. But that's the house right there that we lived in for a little bit. And it's nice now, but it wasn't nice back then. The neighborhood was really quite bad. A friend I was in the army with, one of my roommates has a Cyber truck now. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I wouldn't buy it, but it's pretty cool. So back here, it's like a pickup truck. It's actually so that right there goes up like a. So this guy made his company got bought. I always knew this guy was gonna be rich. Just such a good guy, my man Chris. And anyway, so he just made a lot of money, and I always knew he would. He's just a good heart. He's just a great guy. He works his ass off, and he bought that Cyber truck. I said, ugly as can be. He loves himself some Cybertruck though. But anyway, that back opens up like a big old pickup truck. I wouldn't buy it because I think it's right here. Candace Owens right here. In case you need any more proof that Eminem has a handler, he dropped a track criticizing people who didn't wear a mask. The rap game is filled with closeted homosexuals who are blackmailed into towing the establishment line. Look at Candace crushing. And there's that idiot. Eminem criticized non-mask wearers on new track. What a dumbass. All right, here we go. Primary energy consumption by source. World by source. You can't see that very well. Let me just read it to you. Oil. This is energy. Not just electricity. This is energy. Oil. Are you all seeing that? Oil, coal, gas, hydro, and you're only going to look, hydro isn't going to increase much. You can see hydro is basically flat. Nuclear, wind, solar's, oh my goodness, solar's jumped up a little bit. Yeah, hasn't been anything. It's so low at the beginning. This is in 2023. Oil. Look at that. Look at that rise of oil. Oil's the top. Oh, but look at the rise of coal. Look at the rise of gas. The solar's gone up a little bit, wind's gone up a little bit, but not much relative to the amount of money we've invested in it. It's insane. Hydro is flatline. Never sacrificed my Morales for clicks. What would be what would I sacrifice? Look at Tom. Tom's getting it. Never have we lost the technology. Exactly. Well, Javier, you're not even white. Why do you care, man? Javier's like, at least Gavin Newsom has 6 white kids. You're Mexicano. Well, we will never have full. Not it's exactly not possible. I don't know, Pam. Can Trump beat Big Mike? Yeesh. I think yes. And I don't think Big Mike's going to come in because I think they need. I've come to this conclusion. I think they need Trump to win to remedy the insanity of the Green New Deal. I really think they do. And they're willing to have each party fighting each other. They're saying, look, we're going to have the Greens fight the Trumpsters and the fossil fuel people and all this, as if I like fossil fuels. I don't like fossil fuels. I can't stand the oil companies, but I like to have heat. I like to take an airplane. I like to have my product shipped overseas. I mean, I like it's crazy. It's crazy. I like plastic. I know I like asphalt. Crazy. It's crazy how much oil is in things, petro. I like this stuff. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's nuts. It's crazy how much coal can do. It's crazy. I like reliable electricity. So we got these idiots on the green side. They're like they're hot to trot. Like Biden's going to get rid of fossil fuels. Blah blah blah. They can't. So they got to get rid of Biden, put Trump in there to say, look, we're bringing back fossil fuels. And then the people on the green side can get all pissy and, like, oh, my goodness, we get fossil fuels. We're all going to die. They love it, man. They love when they're going back and forth like that. That's why every couple of years it's a new guy in charge. You know what? We had Republicans for Reagan. and then Bush, and then went Clinton, 2 Bushes, 2 Obamas, 1 Trumpster, 1 Biden, 1 Trumpster, and then 2028 will probably be Gruesome, Gavin Gruesome. It's just, it goes back and forth. That's the way we play each other. It's actually pretty cool. I mean, if I was in charge, I'd do the same damn thing. I say, all right, how do we keep these guys, their eyes off the prize, the people in charge, instead of their eyes on fighting each other over stupid politics? And well, we keep them by saying, hey, if only your guy won, we'd all be breathing free electricity. It'd be clean. There'd be no more global warming if only your guy won. But because the other guy won, ooh, then it makes you mad. You're like, oh, freaking Trump. And then our side says, oh, the Biden. Mark, you came late to the show, buddy. Came late to the show. We already talked about that. Oh, Mark. Is this what happens? You show up late, Mark? Tardy, or no, in school suspension. In school suspension. Well, I actually, my biggest. Did you change your thing there, Broken Arrow? You sure? Is that you? All muscles? You juicing it, baby? You used to have you playing a guitar. I actually think that my big concern is that Harris, they're going to try to put her on the Supreme Court to get her out of the way. You know what I'm saying? They're going to get Sniffy Joe, say, look, we're going to put Kamala on the Supreme Court to get her out of the way. That would be my concern. Won't be okay if election taken again. Court dismantled. Globalism keeps going. But many people are waking up. We're definitely getting help from above. Exactly, 100%. We need generation. So all these idiots, they don't know what nameplate capacities and stuff like that. I was just like, we're getting, what 200 megawatts of solar we're putting out there. Like, how much does it give you in terms of actual generation? It ain't 200 megawatts. You friggin', not you, my brother. We're not getting 200 megawatts produced, which is not. It's a 20% efficiency. Oh, but they in a lab, they did 35% efficiency, Josh. They did it in a lab, don't you know? It's all based on batteries, right? Until we get the batteries. But there's Elon Musk, he's got his wall battery. Oh, so stupid. I have a client, a lady, great lady, and she's not liberal at all. And she got a big solar. She got 18 panels. She was in Florida, designed to withstand 150 miles per hour. So she couldn't put it on her roof because there was no, and where she lives in Florida, if you're going to put it on your roof, it has to be designed to withstand 150 miles per hour for like hurricanes. So she had to put it on her ground, which is, you shouldn't want roof panels anyway. You should always want the ground. But anyway, so she put it on the ground, and they had a PE come in, professional engineer. Is that right? Anyway, designed the whole thing, and it's working great. She's working like a charm. Got a big battery bank. She does have 2 electric vehicles. All right, it charges electric vehicles. It charges her electricity, but it doesn't charge her pool. It doesn't charge her induction stove, and I don't think it charges her heat pump. But she doesn't really need a heat pump because she's in Florida. It gets air conditioned. I think that's what it was. Their induction stove, air conditioned / heat pump, and her pool. But this is a big setup, dude. It's a big setup. I can't remember. I'm sure she's grid tied. So she's grid tied anyway. So grid tied is not off grid. So she's sending the stuff back and forth. That's all great. I got no qualm with that. That's not going to run a society. And by the way, she still needs electricity from the grid for these other things. And by the way, she still has batteries, and the battery bank is pretty big, even though she's still grid tied. It's just the whole thing, stupid. That doesn't mean you can't run. I mean, I interviewed my man Sean Mills from hackyoursolar.com or hackmysolar.com. I got to interview him again too. He just wrote a book. And this guy knows more solar than any of you guys do combined. And this guy just freaking crushes. But he knows. I mean, he's got propane. He's off grid. He's got propane. He's got solar. He's got wind, a little bit of wind, propane, solar, wind. And I had something else on there, not hydro. I forgot what else he has to run his house. Because you're not running hair dryers on solar power. That's just idiotic. On battery power, I should say. Certainly not a battery. That'd be stupid. Any kind of heating thing, heating element, you're not running that off batteries. That would be just dumb. Now, you can run off grid if you're grid tied. But anyway. Right on, man. Yeah, so you're getting, look at Charles says, go Buzz. Buzz is Buzz. Yeah, 100%. I think that's right, Robin. If Trump can't win the Senate, and I'm still skeptical. I mean, look, we should be able to run the thing in the Senate, but I don't think we're gonna. be the Republican Party. So I think the Senate will probably be going back to 50-50, like it was it Bush's first term. There's a 50, maybe it's Bush's second term, mid-year. I can't remember, but a 50-50 Senate, because we have idiots like Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski. There's another one too. I guess Romney will be gone. Whoever knows the stupid idiot's going to replace him is a Romneyite. But Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, there's a third one in there too. I forgot who it used to be McCain. But anyway, it's not Lindsey Graham so much anymore, but he still sucks. But we always have 2 or 3 holdouts in the Republican Party who won't vote the way they should. They never have that in the Democratic Party. Joe Manchin, Tester, they all vote for whatever the Democratic Party tells them. But you always have a couple of holdouts in the Republican Party. Nick, que paso? Look at Nick. More green for the bank accounts, what I'm saying. 100%. Dude, just watch. I mean, like, I'm not going to. Just watch the interview these guys had. Their first interview after coming back. It's weird, dude. Buzz, Neil, and Michael Collins. They don't seem very happy. It's weird. The history of was it Buzz's wife or Buzz's mom killed herself? Buzz's mom killed herself. Neil became a recluse. Buzz has obviously got drinking problems. I can't remember what happened to Michael Collins, but Neil became a big recluse. Buzz's mom killed herself. Neil's wife died young, something like that. But a lot of weird things. And it's just odd. And again, 25,000 miles an hour. Let me see if I can't find. Data center, 100%. AI data. I mean, it's crazy. You're not gonna. It's insanity. And the people in charge know it's insane, and they know they're not going to get this with solar and wind and hydro. And but remember, the Greens hate hydro. They hate hydro. It's right, they should, because you're damming up things of that nature. JD Trump will prove. See, that's man. That's another thing that they're going to use when JD and Trump win. They're going to say, "Look, the elections are free and clean." I said, "I don't buy it for 2 seconds flat. I just don't." They haven't done it. Just Henry. What was that guy's name? It was a talk show. I'm drawing a blank. He used to say Republicans need to win big enough where they can't cheat. I forgot the guy's name on a radio talk show. I forgot. Anyway, Republicans need to win by 5% so they can't cheat. Yeah. All my boomer family members who voted Republican wanted business closed. That's crazy. Yeah. The World Health fixed their webpage. Tom, look, I know we disagree on a couple things, but the WHO is full of crap, right? You don't actually think they fixed it like they had an error where herd immunity before they're saying, please tell me you don't believe this, that they actually thought herd immunity, which they thought was a mistake. It's just they fixed it. Like they corrected an error that said herd immunity can be achieved by being affected by measles or something like that. You don't actually think that they fixed it because they just, we made a mistake. You hopefully you recognize that that's completely corrupt as all can be. That they changed herd immunity from you could become herd immunity with being exposed. Now they're saying it can only be done by vaccination. 100%. Dude. The GOP is 100% global. That's my concern about JD Vance. Not gonna lie to you. 100%. Yeah, I don't think we lost it though, Kirk. The USA is not lost. We're still crushing, man. I mean, there's some idiots and stuff, and that sucked, but we're still. Yeah, I don't buy the EMP stuff at all. They use this Professor Carrington thing, the Carrington effect. It's just the whole thing is just. Yeah. Why do Republicans do nothing every time they get elected? Exactly. Well, they do a couple. I mean, you got to admit, your ability to own a firearm has expanded greatly in the last 25 years. That's literally, we went the exact opposite of everybody else in the world, which is amazing to me. I thought for sure they would gone after handguns. Never mind AR-15s. Remember, Al Gore was 400 votes away from winning, and he wanted to make sure you had to get to regulate handguns. You had to get basically approval from the federal government to buy a handgun, licensed fire handguns. That's what Al Gore wanted. He was only 400 votes away from winning, or 500 votes. He wanted to license people's ability to buy a handgun. Crazy. Yeah, but we're not lost, dude. We're still, I mean, that's the thing. At the end of the day, I like Big Brother. I cannot lie. I like Big Brother. I cannot lie. The reason is I like my life, dude. My life is good. It's better here than any other place I'd want to be, without question. And I think people get way too caught up in, oh my goodness, the politics. I don't think you should. I was like that for many, many years. And COVID, I recognized, wait, you're telling me everybody in the world just magically fell in line with COVID. To include the Republican Party. And we're supposed to be the most right-wing group in the whole world. And we just said, shut us down, lock down our businesses. Crazy. I see huge ranges from 60K to 200K online. What the middle class has, I guess it depends on the state. What's your best guess of middle class in Georgia? Well, I mean, median household income is about 75,000. So that's median household income. I'd say Georgia, the median household income is probably 65,000 mark. Damn, look at Pam. My electric bill is $630, $200 more than a year. Yeah, right. And that sucks donkey balls, because we're reducing our ability to generate electricity. Exactly. There are only so many flowing rivers to dam hydro. 100%, Andrew. 100%. It's Harris and a white male governor. Harris and a white male governor. Okay. Ooh, that's a good. I think Shapiro. Yeah, 100%. Shapiro fits all the rules, if you know what I'm saying. Pennsylvania, that name. Get it. Oh, Tom. Oh, Tom, is that your argument why we haven't gone back to the moon? Oh, dude, you got to get better than that. Ford lost the technology to build a Model T. NASA lost the technology to go back to the moon. So Tom's equating the two. You don't see the silliness in this argument? For real? You don't see the... Come on, man. You got to do better than this. Tom is saying we can't go back to the moon because we lost the technology. And so because of that, we can't go back to the moon. And it's too hard to recreate because it's old technology. That's what Tom's saying. He's using his to equate that to Ford having lost the Model T technology, as if that's happened. I'm shocked that Tom doesn't see the problem with this argument. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Josh's closet Illuminati NWO. I don't get it, man. I don't get what you're saying. Divide and conquer works too well. Yeah. Bass ale. Exactly. We produce more oil in 2023 than ever before in any country in history. Will increase under Trump and Biden, probably, but not by much. Oh, yeah, it'll increase. It has to be increased. It has to increase, because if we're going to have the expanding AI, expanding electrification of all this, it has to increase. There's no two ways around it. What are you talking about? Uneducated goes through almost all his comments and responds. Why can't you? I don't get what you're saying, man. I bet solar cost set up a pretty 100%. It absolutely did. But they like it. More power to them. More power to them. They do make a solar mini split. I don't even know what that means. We don't have enough transformers on the block for electrical cars. The transformer installed in the overhead lines. We don't have enough. Yeah, and large power transformers too are getting old. I mean, that's the thing. Our grid is antiquated and it's run down, and we don't make enough steel so we have to import steel from freaking China and probably Canada. I think actually we just don't make enough these LPTs. But who needs electricity? Yeah, but I'm sure she has. Look, no, don't put words in her mouth about she's not one of these people. She just has an electric vehicle, I mean, look, electric vehicles are quiet. They jump off the light. I mean, they're smooth rides. I don't think anyone would deny that. They are efficient. I mean, that's just a fact. Um, but they don't run far. And then in terms of kind of like nameplate capacity versus electric vehicle, like, oh, our range is like I was talking about, man, with the Cybertruck. He said the range is like 350 miles. He goes, yeah, the real life range ain't even close to that. I can't remember, it's like 210, something like that. But so they say, hey, this is our range, 400 miles, whatever. It's like, yeah, real life's not. I mean, I got no qualm with people using electric vehicles. I'm not going to do it, but they're going to have a ICE if they want to go any place of any substantials. You know what I'm saying? Who was I talked to? Some guy said I can use my electric vehicle and charge here, charge there, charge there. I said if the charges work and you don't have to wait in line, but you're not going to be driving an electric vehicle across country. I mean, you could, I suppose, but that sounds like a nightmare because we just don't have them. We don't have the capacity. It's just, and then the charging time, the whole thing. Anyway, so yeah, this lady's fine. She got her electric vehicles. I got no call with that. She's not like this green freaking Greta Thunberg idiot or all these dumbasses. She's just like she likes electric vehicles. Cool. I got no call. But I guarantee if she's driving a freaking Minnesota from California, from Florida, she's not driving an electric vehicle. Yeah, I think it's going to be 50-50, Mark. And then we'll lose two. It'll be Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins. They'll have the leverage. And so we have to be liberal if we want our judges approved. I don't think it'll be 51-49 because then if we could lose two and we'd still get freaking JD Vance to approve, I think it's going to be 50-50. And it's just, I think it's a Bush's either his second term, the first, so they basically the second term, right out the gate, I think it's 50-50 or I can't remember. But I remember that like it was yesterday because that's when Arlen Specter jumped ship, if memory served, to the Democrats. I can't remember. I think it's when Specter jumped ship. And remember, Specter's role was to hide the JFK assassination, by the way. You guys might not remember that, but Arlen Specter was big in the JFK assassination in terms of hiding the truth, this scumbag. Anyway, so when he jumped ship, that lost a majority for the Republicans, if memory serves. But either way, if it's 50-50, that's not good because that means all it takes is both those ladies, Susan Collins and freaking Lisa Murkowski, to say nay. And then we don't have, then Democrats win 49-48. If it's 51-49 and both those ladies say nay, it's 49-49, and JD Vance could come in there and make the majority. Harris has zero chances of getting the 90K plus value she would need. No one. Harris at 90K. 90,000. I don't get 90,000 plus values. Hydrogen. But now you're in Tennessee, so what are you using up there? Yeah, we'll see. We've been saying that for years. I don't know. We'll see what happens. If we can't take out Tesser, we can't take out Sherrod Brown. It doesn't matter. Those two guys got to go. You know what I'm saying? Those two guys. And I think we have one or two we have to hold. But if we can't take out those two guys, yeah, see, this is Jill. You're getting way too cocky, man. Tester, I'm telling you right now, the Tester. Don't forget, Claire McCaskill won in 2010. 2012. Claire McCaskill. Missouri had already gone dark red at that point, and Claire McCaskill won in 2012 because the Republicans, because they're so idiotic, they gave up Todd Aiken. They said, "Oh, Aiken said something bad. We can't support this guy anymore," and they all did it. I'll never forget that. It's like Romney, the whole freaking crew of them. Todd Aiken, and it was in 2012 because she lost in 2018. By the way, people forget in 2018, Trump did what has never happened since FDR. The incumbent party took out 4 out of power Democrat senators. That hadn't happened since FDR. Now we lost 2 as well, but we netted 2. The incumbent party, Trump, took out 4 incumbent Democratic senators. That hadn't happened since FDR. Now, we did lose a House in 2018, so everyone's like, oh, Trump lost. And these people are idiots. I said, no. You lose a House all the basically recently we've lost, houses go back and forth. It wasn't like that for many, many years. But the fact that Trump took out 4 incumbent Democratic senators, man, in 2018 was insane. And that hadn't happened for 60 years, 70 years, something like that. Crazy. We did lose the House, and then we gained it back in 2022. 2020, yeah, 2022. 2020, 2022, I can't remember. So I just find it funny. So when we lose the House, but we gain seats in the Senate, Trump loses. When we lose the Senate, but we gain back the House, Trump loses. That's weird because that's what's happened in the last couple election cycles. We lost the House, but we gained seats in the Senate. First time this happens is FDR. 2020 or 2022, I can't. I think it's 2022. We lost the Senate, but we gained back the House, and somehow Trump's to blame. Yeah, Murkowski sucks, dude. Yeah, yeah. But she didn't come through with Kavanaugh. Yeah, yeah. No, it wasn't Mark Levin. It was I can't stand that guy. It was I won't call it Henry Hazlitt, but it's not Henry Hazlitt. Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hazlitt. Hugh Hefner. That's a Playboy guy. Hugh. You know what I'm talking about. Hugh something or other. Yeah. 36,100 square finished built in 2004. Yeah. Hugh, what the hell's his name? Hugh. Yeah, exactly. We're talking about that. No coincidence. Half the morning. Now, I don't think it's. I actually think it's just a way to show people, like, look, I absolutely think it's a way to show people we're still in charge. I skipped over your biblical reference fast and sharp to acknowledge. Let's see, Hugh Hewitt. That's what it was. Hugh Hewitt. Yep. Well, we got a bunch of good judges. I mean, that's ultimately that's what happens. Is the only thing we can rely on Republicans is to get good judges in there, and Trump has shown his mettle in that. Bush sucked. Dude. Bush got Roberts. Bush. Remember Harriet Myers. Harriet Myers was going to be Bush's Supreme Court justice. Bush sucked. I mean, let's just all come to a conclusion there. George Herbert Walker Bush was a. Do you know that Bush's tax increases, as just read the other day, couldn't believe it, was the eighth largest increase in the history of the United States in terms of revenue relative to GDP. Bush's tax increased revenue. I think it was almost more than Clinton's 1993 tax increase. Don't hold me to that, but it's right up there. It's right within the same time. So Bush's and Clinton's two tax increases were close in terms of how much revenue they increased the government relative to GDP. That's not a Republican thing. So Bush can go pound freaking sand. That's George H.W. Bush, RIP, I grant you. The same guy who said that I'll read my lips, and then he did it. Freaking sucker. 90K. Oh, you're saying 90 million is what you're saying. Oh, I see. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying, Joe. So Joe won by 90K. I got you. Trump will get many more real votes this time than 2020. I see you're a lot more confident I am. Presidency in the Senate, SCOTUS picks and confirms. Yeah, 100% confident. I completely agree. Yeah, I don't think it's be 52, Joe. You're a lot more optimistic than I am. And by the way, who told you what was going to happen in 2022? Your old buddy Josh. Watch my video when I said what happens in 2022. I called it. This guy. Everybody else says a Republican wave, and it wasn't. I said no, it's not. And I don't think it's gonna be a wave this time either. I don't. I don't think we're going to win in Ohio. I don't think Sherrod Brown's going out, and I don't think Tester's going out either. As such, we'll pick up a couple others. I forgot what the other states were. I forgot. I don't think we're going to win those two places. There's a couple other we'll take. We'll take. There's like 6 seats up that we have a good shot at. I think we're going to take 2. Maybe it's because I'm from Maine. I'm cautiously pessimistic in everything I do. But I called 2022 right here. Your old buddy Josh. Everyone else like the Republicans. Blah, 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 blah. Most important votes that are important to us. Some judgeships. Some pro, not just pro life stuff, but socially conservative stuff. 100%. Murkowski, I can't. What the hell are you doing in Alaska? Don't forget, Alaska has a Democrat in the House right now too, because that freaking voting. You know what I'm saying? That whatever that stupid voting thing is called. I forgot what it's called. Anyway, yeah, I just think Murkowski, she sucks so bad. She'll do whatever she can to stick it to Trump. I think Murkowski and Collins will be okay with drilling, with the with expanding of nuclear and things like that. I just think the stuff that a lot of the more conservative stuff socially they will be negative on, and then of course the globalist stuff they're all about. Murkowski sucks. Yeah, dude, I get it. I'm telling you, I've known this. I've said before. I said this is the Republicans' best shot, because it's not even just because Democrats were retiring more. If you just look at the states that are up for reelection, we've known this for at least 2 years. Well, I mean, hell, we've known it for 4 years, but we knew it even at the end of 2022. And that's what I said in 2022. I said the Republicans won't win the Senate this time around. I said it. I said 2024 looks better. I would expect the Republicans to take the Senate in 2024. I do. I think it'll be 50-50 with JD Vance. So we'll have one, but I think Murkowski is a pain in the ass. At least Romney will be gone, so it'll be good. We'll get a newer guy from Utah, and he'll be probably better than Romney. I don't think he'd be great, but he'll be better than Romney. So we're gonna have Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski, and I don't think Susan Collins has run it again. So we'll see how she does. But Murkowski is she just sucks. She's horrible. Anyway, at the end of the day, so we can run the table. If we ran the table, it'd be 54-46. I don't think that's coming anywhere near that. I think we'll get 2 of the 6 because the states are already pre-chosen. We know what states are up. Every 2 years, we know the states that are up. And so the 2022 cycle was not as good for Republicans. It was better than it was for Democrats, and we still didn't get what we needed to get done, which is very frustrating. 2024, if we can't win massively in 2024, let's put it this way. Let's see. Ohio calls pretty early, so if Brown goes down in Ohio, Trump's going to win. That's all there is to it. If Brown goes down, Trump's going to win. We'll know. They used to say that back in the day. I remember when Clinton was running against Bush. Indiana, Georgia, and Kentucky. Indiana and Georgia called early. They both were called for Clinton. I'll never forget that. I said, "What?" Yeah, it was Indiana. Indiana, Georgia. I think it was Kentucky. And I can't remember what happened. I think Kentucky went Bush, but I can't remember. I remember thinking Georgia went for Clinton. I was like, damn. And when those called early, and I was still kind of I'm still a novice how it worked. I said, well, maybe he'll win these other states, and it wasn't. He did. But I'll never forget when they called Kentucky, Georgia, and Indiana. I'm almost positive those 3 states, and at least 2 of them went for Clinton. I said, if he's winning in Georgia and Indiana, then what's Bush gonna win? California? I remember that's bad. Is bad, dude. Yeah, what I'm saying. Even if Republicans get the majority, well, because Murkowski. And then if Murkowski doesn't do it, it'll be Lindsey Graham. If Lindsey, all these guys, they want more money to Ukraine. They want more money to NATO. They want more money to Israel. They want more war. And if you want to listen to a great song, listen to the Pogues version of Waltzing Matilda. And listen to it. I was listening to it on the way home. I've listened to it a million times. It's just such a sad story about war. If you need to have a good reminder of why war sucks donkey balls, listening to the Pogues version of Waltzing Matilda. Oh, dude, it's just sad, man. Yeah, so we got to get the Republicans to be in the Senate, or else we're going to get a bunch of Borks. Joe Biden's going to do Bork. We're never going to get another Clarence Thomas through a Democratic Senate. Never going to happen. Don't forget, Clarence Thomas, the only reason he got confirmed was because he was black, because they did not like that guy, but they did not want to stand up against a black guy because he was replacing Thurgood Marshall. Biden, you know what I'm saying? And Anita Hill and this whole stupid thing that's the beginning of the Me Too stuff, which is so stupid, and she sucks. But at the end of the day, they said, hey, we're going to let Clarence Thomas through, but they Bork, and as such, we got Anthony Kennedy. He was better than a hole in the head, but he still sucked. Sandra Day O'Connor. How do we get her? Well, because the Democrats controlled the Senate. Think about it. Bork lost. Clarence Thomas almost lost. We got Anthony Kennedy and Sandra Day O'Connor. Oh, by the way, Earl Warren, the Warren Commission, the crazy Earl Warren, the Warren Court, he used to be governor of California as a Republican. So he got approved from the Democrat Senate. People forget this. All those liberal, what is it, Blackman? I think it's Blackman, Justice Blackman. If memory serves, he was a Republican. Got approved through a Democratic Senate. Souter, David Souter, he got approved through a Democratic Senate. People forget this stuff, man. This is why the Senate's so important, man. Because if we don't have the Senate, we still have affirmative action. We still have Roe v. Wade. We have massive regulations on firearms. Never mind all the other stuff that's been happening. You know what I'm saying? Never mind the Exxon verdict, which is fantastic. I mean, the Supreme Court's saving our bacon. And if we did not have the Senate, even with Justice Roberts, even if we did not have the Senate, we would not have these things. I'm just telling you. So don't sit there and say, I can't vote because I get it. And then, after this, I'll see what happens with the MAGA. If MAGA is set to the side, I'm not voting again. I'll tell you that right now. But the facts are the Senate is what drives the confirmations of the judges. And if you don't have the judges rule everything, it's just it's nature of the beast now. It sucks, but I don't think that's going to happen, man. Ron, he's not mass deporting. No way. Yeah, we got rid of quite a few really bad GOP. Yeah, but we'll see if if the people coming up behind them are just as bad. Yeah, we got the issue is we got to have a Senate. I mean, we don't want because the problem is if the Democrats retain the Senate and Trump is in office, Thomas is going to retire. Sotomayor is going to retire. Who else knows is going to retire? And we cannot. The Democrats have to approve. They're not going to approve anyone other than a Souter, a Sandra Day O'Connor, and probably not an Anthony Kennedy would probably not be approved anymore. It's going to be a Blackman, Harry Blackman. It'll be a Earl Warren. It'll be a Souter, and we just can't have that happen. I don't know if they're stealing tech jobs. I don't know if these guys are stealing. I think they're being invited here to take the jobs, but I don't. The Indians and the Chinese, they're not stealing them. They're just coming here and say, "Hey, the corporation said we want you to do it for cheaper." I'm all about 2025. I think it's stupid. All the liberals like, oh my goodness, Heritage Foundation Project 2025. It's not going to happen. I'm all about it. Oh, yeah, dude. Bush Sr. is horrible, 100%. Yep, I completely agree with you, Kirk. You and I are 100% agreement. Yep. Rank choice, that's called. Yeah, 100%. That's why people just like, oh, Trump lost this. It's just he's never Trumpers. David Frum's of the world. Stupid. Dude, Ron, you're wrong, man. You're dead wrong. Trust me. This is near and dear to my heart. And trust me, jobs are few and far between. People are getting laid off like crazy. Tech, IT, computer sciences. It's not good, dude. It's not good. It's bad. It's only getting worse too, man. You're just wrong here, brother. And I love you to death, but you're absolutely wrong. They're getting destroyed, and it's not good. I agree with that. I don't think Jill. That's what people think. Not necessarily, Jill. I mean, not necessarily. People do split the tickets. You know what I'm saying? And especially some of these Democrats are going to vote for Trump. They're still going to be Democrat in heart. So this is the problem with Trump, actually. He does appeal to a lot of Democrats that normally would not vote for the Republican, but they're still going to vote down ballot for their own guy for sure. Yeah, I completely agree with Javier right here. Yeah, I 100%, man. The nation's pretty Turkish Song of the Dam is fantastic. I 100%. That's such a good song. I just listened to that today, as a matter of fact. The best Pogue song is not Turkish Song of the Dam, though. I'll tell you is Shane. What the hell's it called? Shane Bradley. All right, so stop with some of this. Yeah, 100%. Another Biden failure. He was the one who put up the castrate Thomas. Yep. I'll vote till I'm dead. I'm not going to vote. If I had a choice between Mittens, Romney, and whoever the Democrats put up, I'm just not voting. I don't approve. I just don't approve. I'll vote in the primary, but I don't. I'm not voting for Brad. I didn't vote for Brad Puffy Barger because I just can't. You're a lying sack of crap. Not you, Andrew. He said he was going to resolve the issues on voting, and he absolutely did the exact opposite. He made it worse. And I don't comply or not comply. I don't approve. Just because there's an R next to his name, the Democrat's crazy. I don't want anything to do with that. You lied, Brad Puffenbarger. You said you're going to fix it, and you made it worse, and you suck. And I'm not going to vote for him. I don't think he's going to deport anybody. I don't see it happening. Yet, well, remember, the House is where the spending comes from. So I'm okay if the Democrats control the spending because the Republicans will veto it, Trump, and the Senate will never take it up. All right, I'm okay with that. It used to be the House. I mean, because the House Ways and Means were all spending originates. So that used to be the most important thing. But that was back when we had more of a bipartisanship. We had a bunch of uniparty types all over the place, with Democrats and Republicans. The Democrats got their way, the Republicans always got screwed. But now that Republicans are actually putting up good quality judges, the Senate is the most important thing for sure. Because House Ways and Means Committee, they can still spend, without having anything approved. It's insane. It's nuts. So you don't even need it. It's not even as important as it was. It's still important, don't get me wrong. There'll never be a tax legislation that comes out in the divided government. That's fine. But at the end of the day, the most important thing, unfortunately, is the judges. You get these judges on there, and it changes policy. It's just a fact, man. You don't get the judges. I don't care what your freaking House Ways and Means Committee proposes. Doesn't mean crap. Judges. One judge can eliminate Obamacare. They can eliminate all this stuff. It's crazy. I don't know about that. I hear what you're saying, but I'm not sure you're saying there's not enough talent to hire only U.S. I don't know if that'd be true. Look, I'm not in it, so I don't know. All right, let's see. Clarence, chance for a Senate much higher than House. We already own that. We already control the House, so. Why would you say? So you're saying we could lose the House? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. The gerrymandering and all that stuff. Well, we know that's what Indians do. We know for a fact Indians hire other Indians. If anyone debated that, they'd be just wrong. We know that for a fact. So we're the only country that says you can't hire your own kind, be it whatever. But yet that has happened all the time from people that are foreign to America. We'll see what happens. All right. I think I'm done getting out of here, man. It's all good. It's all good, brothers and sisters. It'll be fun. Just remember, at the end of the day, America is still crushing. There's no other place you'd rather live. You want to live in Europe? Hell, you want to live in freaking Macron's France with those idiots? You know what I'm saying? You want to live in Leeds, England with those idiots? We're doomed. My wife is a Latina, 100%. My extended family have their own economy. Yeah. It's same group preference, man. I tell you, a lot of people have the same group preference. Nothing wrong with it. Yeah, dude. We're fine. There's no other place to be. Where else would you rather be, man? Rather be in Canada? Good night. I'd rather be America's the most crushing midget. That's all it takes. That's all we got to be. We just got to be the best. We got to be the most crushing midget. The tallest midget. We're fine. We're gonna keep being fine. Because at the end, guys, and I'll shut up here just a second. At the end of the day, I cannot stress enough again. We have 350 million odd people in the United States. A significant tens of, maybe not hundreds of millions, or not hundreds, but tens of millions are idiots. They don't know how to freaking wipe their own butts. If they freaking said, we're not going to have electricity or water or food for 3 days, it'd be mass chaos. It'd be insane. And the powers that be know that. They can't let that happen, because once that happens, they're going to be losing too. And they don't want to. They like being in charge. So they're going to say, yeah, we got to make sure we have the electricity. We got to make sure we have the food. It might be the food might suck. It might be GMOs, might be full of processed crap. But as long as we keep the people happy and fat, feed them porn, feed them alcohol, feed them bread and circuses, keep the freaking electricity on, feed them TikTok videos, show people how bad Trump is, how bad Biden is. As long as they stay focused over there, we're good. The issue is, and these people in charge, they're not stupid. They know they have to keep us at bay, and the way they keep us at bay is through this. So I'm not in the least worried about it. That's why I actually ultimately think Trump's going to win, because they know it's like Biden is getting too close to over promising and under delivering when it comes to the green stuff, and we just can't, because we can't run a society to keep people happy in a society that doesn't have electricity. Just can't. You do? Do you know how to wipe your own butt? Do you? Yeah, freaking USA. It's the best in the world. Who else is going to replace us, Joe? I mean, Joe says it won't last. Where'd it go? Joe said it won't last. Yeah, they can bill for anywhere they want, wherever they want. Yeah, no, I don't agree with that. Where are they going to go? France? I mean, France is already a cluster. South Sudan. Freaking future's bright, dude. 100%. 100%. Reform starts in your schools, teaching the young the truth. Doesn't even start in your schools; it starts your home for sure. Yeah, well, I mean that's true. I mean, 100% Trump's a Zionist. I don't think anyone would doubt that. And that's a concern. Is 100% approval of Israel is concern. I'm not going to lie to you. I'd like to see Trump take a little bit back up from Israel, his pro-Israel stuff. I think it's a little bit too over the top. I think Israel should be criticized when they're over the top, which they are for sure. Well, that means you like Hamas. No, it doesn't mean you like Hamas. These aren't mutually exclusive things. But the facts, I don't want to get to it now. All right, let's say a prayer for Carol. Let's just say a prayer, everybody. So, Heavenly Father, we just pray for all these good people here joining us tonight. We pray for Ted's friend Carol, breast cancer surgery. Man, I was just talking to a lady. Well, let me say my prayer. Lord, we just pray for peace. I know it probably will never be happen until you bring Jesus back, but that's a scary day. A lot of people are looking forward to the day Jesus comes back, but it's a scary day to see that happen. It's a scary day for people who are saying, we need a civil war. It's a scary day for people who want the country to fall apart. These aren't good things. These aren't good things. And we know you put everybody in, we know you're responsible for everything. You put everybody in charge as you see fit. We don't know why Joe Biden's in charge. We don't know why. But we know that's because of you allowed it for some reason. And we just got to be confident in your plans and your will, because ultimately you win. You created everything in the universe. The idea that our tiny little time is going to affect God's plan. Just give us the sensibility and the humbleness to recognize whatever happens on this world, it happens because you allowed it to happen. And if that's good in your name, it's certainly good in us. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Oh, thanks, R. Look at R. Yeah, but God put Joe in there for a reason. I don't know why. And we might not ever know why. But I'll tell you what, man, it's all good. America. Biden allowed it to give us. I 100%. I think that's probably true, Joe. I think people say this. If you can't open your eyes, that's kind of like you can't go and bash people over the head with the Bible. Say, you can't. You guys got to tell them what you think is your truth, and you can tell them twice. But if they don't want to hear, you got to dust off your boots and walk away, just like the Bible commands us. And we have a great commission. You've got to spread the word. But if people don't want to see it, you can't force them to. And there are a lot of people who don't want to see it when it comes to Sniffy Joe and the Marxist. But we don't need a lot of people to see it. We just need enough, because we already had a pretty divided country. So if just 3 to 5% of the population says, yeah, that's not the way I want to go, it's all good, man. It's all good. To the moon planet. So don't blame the D's. No, why would you blame God? You can't blame God. You say this is what God commands. It's okay. You say, I don't know why, God, but if you believe in God and you believe God's in control, You can't say, well, God didn't want Biden there. You have to say God wanted Biden there for some reason. I don't know why. But I mean, I don't understand these people like God's in control, but he didn't want Biden there. Okay, so was he in control or not? He wanted Biden there. I think he wanted Biden there for us to, but I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. All right, I'm getting out of here. God bless, man. We'll see you guys. Thanks for being here.